Today, we're diving into one of the biggest questions out there, a real head-scratcher that pits everything we know about the universe against a strange cosmic silence. This is our explainer on the Fermi Paradox. And it all boils down to this one simple question. Just 3 words, but when they were spoken by the brilliant physicist Enrico Fermi, they launched a mystery that, honestly, still keeps scientists up at night. So where did this universe-sized question even come from? All right, picture this. It's 1950. You've got some of the brightest minds on the planet, including Enrico Fermi, grabbing lunch while working on the atomic bomb project in Los Alamos. They're laughing about a cartoon of aliens stealing trash cans when Fermi just suddenly looks up and asks that now-famous question, sparking a cosmic cold case that we're still trying to solve today. Okay, so to really get why this is such a paradox, we have to understand the sheer scale of what we're talking about. Let's lay out the evidence. First, let's talk numbers. In our own galaxy, the Milky Way, there are somewhere around 200 billion stars. That's not a typo. 200 billion suns, just in our neighborhood. It's a number that's almost impossible to really wrap your head around. And we now know that tons of those stars have planets. I mean, current estimates say there are billions, with a B, of Earth-like planets sitting in what we call the habitable zone. You know, that sweet spot where liquid water could exist. So that's billions of potential homes for life. Then you have to factor in time. The Milky Way has been around for over 13 billion years. Our Earth? It's a relative baby at just 4.5 billion years old. That means there was a massive multi-billion-year head start for life to get going somewhere else. And yet, after all of that, billions of stars, billions of planets, billions of years for something to happen, the number of confirmed intelligent alien civilizations we've ever found is exactly this. 0. A big fat nothing. Just cosmic silence. And that, right there, is the paradox in a nutshell. The math says the universe should be absolutely buzzing with life, maybe even crowded with super advanced civilizations. But the evidence? It shows nothing. So, where is everybody? Let's take a look at the main suspects. Okay, our first possible solution is, well, it's a pretty chilling one. It might sound like something straight out of science fiction, but the logic behind it is actually pretty grim. It's called the dark forest theory. The core idea here is really simple. The aliens are out there, but they have a really, really good reason for staying quiet. They don't want to be found. They're hiding. The big question is, why? Just look at this timeline. You can see that stable, life-friendly conditions existed in our galaxy for billions of years before Earth was even a thing. Any civilization that popped up back then would have an insane head start on us, making them so advanced we probably couldn't even comprehend them. So why would an incredibly advanced civilization hide? Well, the theory says you have to assume that self-preservation is a universal instinct. I mean, just look at our own history. When one civilization expands and meets another, it's often not pretty. It's a dangerous game. So if you assume any other intelligent life will also put its own survival first, then the smartest, safest move in a dark, unknown forest is to stay completely silent. The silence we're hearing isn't an empty galaxy, it's a galaxy full of survivors. Which, of course, brings the question right back to our doorstep. For the past 100 years or so, we've been blasting radio signals out into space, basically screaming, "We're here," to the entire cosmos. If this dark forest theory is right, are we being dangerously naive? Are we the kids shouting in a forest where all the smart hunters know you're supposed to stay quiet? But what if the aliens aren't just hiding? What if there's nobody to hide from in the first place? This leads us to our second suspect, and an idea that is, frankly, even more terrifying. The Great Filter. Yeah, this theory suggests that life has only happened once, right here on Earth. The silence isn't a strategy, it's just silence. There's no one else out there to make any noise. So the theory imagines this great filter, some kind of barrier or wall that's so incredibly hard to get past that almost no species ever makes it. It could be anything, the jump from a single cell to a complex one, or maybe it's surviving a technology you invent, like nuclear weapons. The good news, the optimistic view, is that maybe the Great Filter is behind us, and we are one of the very, very few, or maybe even the very first to make it through. The sci-fi legend Arthur C. Clarke said it best. 2 possibilities exist. Either we are alone in the universe, or we are not. Both are equally terrifying. And that just nails the dilemma, right? If we're alone, the entire weight of cosmic consciousness is on our shoulders. But if we're not alone, it might mean the great filter is still ahead of us. And whatever that is, it's wiped out every other civilization that came before. But hold on, there is a third possibility. And this is the one that is, I think, the most likely and for sure the most hopeful. What if the problem isn't the universe, but us? This whole line of thinking suggests that the paradox only seems like a paradox because the way we're searching is just wrong. It's outdated, and it's based on this very human-centric idea that aliens would act and talk just like us. And that's a huge, probably incorrect assumption. Here's the key thing to understand. For decades, our big search for alien intelligence, what we call SETI, has mostly been about listening for radio waves. But think about it. Even here on Earth, we're already moving away from radio to things like fiber optics and lasers. It's looking like a pretty short technological phase. Why would a civilization a million years older than us still be using AM radio? Instead, we should be looking for much bigger, more robust clues, things called technosignatures and biosignatures. So instead of just listening, we can actually start looking for the side effects of technology. We can scan the atmospheres of other planets for things like industrial pollution. We could watch for a star that dims in a weird, unnatural way, a possible sign of a Dyson sphere, a giant structure built to capture all of a star's energy. We could even look for powerful laser beacons or, get this, messages hidden inside gravitational waves. The possibilities are amazing. So, we've looked at the evidence, we've lined up the main suspects. What's the final verdict in this cosmic detective story? You know, the most convincing answer isn't that the universe is empty, but that our search has been incredibly narrow. It's like we've been standing on the shore of a vast cosmic ocean, just cupping our hands to our ears and then being surprised we don't hear anything. That doesn't mean the ocean is silent. It just means we need a much better way to listen. Our methods have been primitive, and the real search, it's really only just getting started. And that's what it all comes down to, right? Is the great silence a sign that we're truly alone in the dark? Or is it just a reflection of our own technological infancy? Maybe the cosmos is actually filled with conversations, and we just haven't figured out how to tune into the right station yet.